at bay. A remarkable feat, I must admit. We're going to have something after Ed Pickford's song called Fiesta Fies. Some of you might know what it's about, some of you might not know what it's about. So we've imported an immigrant from Teesside who was completely impartial because he's used to wielding a whip in his private life when he's master of a rapper team called the Addison Rapper. And being a whipper in for the rapper is quite a daunting task, I'll tell you. You only get that job when you cannot do the somersault. You give him the whip. But George is looking for victims. But Doreen, having had her life explained to you, you realise she is a master of the Fiesta Fies. But sadly not as good as John, who had a wonderful processing face. But anybody wants to go in for this after the bait. So we're going to have Eddie, then the bait. Oh no, Eddie and then the Fiesta Fies, the first Fiesta Fies, for half a croon. And I brought some half croons, which is the price of a pint when it all started. And then the bait. Now, while the bait's on, the people in the front row might find their seats have gone, because immediately after the bait, I'd like to invite Graham Binless, who was part of another chapter in the club, because when the club grew so enormously large, it was decided that having had a few musicians, of which one is here, who used to play regularly in the band, the pickup band, we used to stand outside waiting for women to pick up. They decided to have a monthly Cayley, because sometimes the club was so full of people, full of hospitality and talking, they hadn't shut up. So they said, well, we'll have a Cayley and I'll let our gobs run, and then we'll have quiet weeks. And the Cayley was enormous. And Graham was the first MC at the Cayley who used to call us into submission dancing. And so during the debate we may move some of the tables out of the way, because Graham was an expert at the Naked Ladies Leapfrog team, which is the predecessor of the Morris dancing. But he won't ask you to do that tonight, but he will call some dancers. So I'd like to welcome Graham, who's come up from Leeds tonight. Graham, thank you. Eddie, Fiesta Fies, and then bait in case your tummy's rumbling. Eddie cut his teeth on this club, and he's got some new teeth now. But you all know him as one of the new parts of the folk scene, that is somebody who sings the traditional songs and decided on that basis to write his songs. And certainly he's had a wonderful place to sing his songs. Some of the greatest songs have been written in the North East, have been sung the first time in Berkeley. Eddie Pickford.
It certainly is a night for memories. I'm glad Ian's here, but things have moved on, because Ian Fraser and I were the sort of one of the first ones to come to Berkeley, and he used to be my guitar tuner in those days. So I couldn't tune the guitar, I still can't, of course, but I used, in fact, it was first example really of electronic tuner, because he used to have to ring him up. And put the phone near the string. It's very difficult on a Friday night in a red phone box, but that's what I used to do. So Ian and I, and the first song that I remember, if I can just indulge myself for just a very, very short time, was that I remember at Berkeley, was at the Red Lion, I think. Ian had something before that which I'd forgotten about. And there was a song called Pound a Week Rise that I remember doing then, because just previous to that, we didn't write songs together, but we wrote songs separately. A friend of mine called Fletcher, and when we did a song, we would take it through to Ian to see if it was any good or not. And I remember we both ran through to his place in Felling one Saturday morning, and his mother says, oh, he's in bed, so went in bed, and there he was, all relaxed and everything, And we did the songs there. Next to him was this most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life, actually. I said, what's her name? He says, well, I haven't read the magazine yet. But that was the first time that I did a song called Pound a Week Rise. So it's fitting that I should do a song that I've just done. I was going to say the last song, but I have done another one. This is a song, again, about memory. And this takes me back to the age of about 8 in 1951. Everybody's doing mental calculations. Wish I brought me more.
But all the same,
and yes, I was born on Pickford's birthday, actually, so that's really bad, isn't it? But anyway, it took me back to a place called Easington, and there'd been an explosion there in 1951. And this is a little song called Easington Memory. I have a memory, and I saw it made. In Durham County there was a parade. Long ago now, but the memory won't fade. Easington town was in mourning. I saw a crowd like a black surgeon tied, wrapped in a shroud made of sorrow and pride. Every head bowed for the miners who died. Easington town was in mourning. I stood on an Easington street in 1951, lost in a forest of Easington feet, sensing that something was wrong. I held my grandmother's hand under a northern sky. I heard the sound of a colliery band, watched all the hearses roll by. Bells of remembrance reflectively told. 83 miners would never grow old. All the sun-melted streets as the carriage wheels rolled. Easington town was in mourning. Come back to me. Go on to the last verse. I'll sing the chorus again. I stood on an Easington street in 1951, lost in a forest of Easington feet, sensing that something was wrong. I held my grandmother's hand under a northern sky. I heard the sound of a colliery band, watched all the hearses roll by. Memories are links in a chain we collect, stored in our brain to retrieve and connect. I have a memory of pain and respect. Easington town was in mourning. Time holds its breath where those comrades now sleep, tranquil in death, yet a vigil they keep. Memories of when men made my mean streets weep. Easington town was in mourning, and I stood on an Easington street in 1951, lost in a forest of Easington feet, sensing that something was wrong. I held my grandmother's hand under a northern sky. I heard the sound of a colliery band, watched all the hearses roll by. Thank you.